That makes the difference, doesn't it?
What a knobhead. It isn't charging properly, so I'm just going to pop the brushes out. I'm going to try and do it from this end, because otherwise you've got to take all the exhaust off to get the generator out. So we'll have a quick look at that. Yeah, that's it, because I want to check the wiring on it anyway, trace the wires back up. So I'm still not too certain about what he was saying, but he said it's different from a WLA, which I find very hard to believe. So I'll trace all the wires back and see exactly what's what.
Oh, this is the light that comes on to show it's
yeah,
charging.
well, it's exactly the same generator. It's a 32E. I'll check the two wiring diagrams out, because even though it's a WLA and it's got a 7 position or 7 pickup switch, the charging side of it is all the same.
Yeah.
So if I check the wiring and I know that's exactly the same as a WLA charging system, then I don't know what information he's getting, but as far as I'm concerned, it isn't right.
Yeah.
Perhaps the guy was talking about a toothbrush which has a voltage regulator. That might flash over and show you a light. I honestly don't know. So, but if I know what I know,
Yeah.
check what I know, and if that's the same as a WLA, then it should be,
Yeah.
you know, working as such. Might just be adjustment on the third brush, I don't know. So a lot of I don't know is going on. I'd say this has been rebuilt at some point anyway, because that's a new bearing in there and a new end nut. I mean, the old ones just don't look like that. That's an NSK brand new bearing from England, so I'd say it's been rebuilt at some stage. Commutator looks alright. Let's pop the other brushes out and have a look. Yeah, this has been rebuilt. Right, there's nothing wrong with those brushes. That lash is a little bit too much, but that means taking half the front of the engine out, which you don't want to do, but it's not the end of the world. Can you see the segments in there? And what you've got to look for is, see that groove there?
Yeah.
That's nice and clear. When they're very worn, think of all the carbon that comes off of those brushes, yeah, it goes and fills those up, and that's your sort of AC/DC charging system.
Okay.
When they're full up, they don't charge properly.
Yeah.
But that's almost definitely been rebuilt.
Looks clean, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I don't think there's an issue with the generator as such. So what I'll do is work out the wiring, as I said, and then look at the setup of the third brush, see what it's putting out when it's running. It could be a battery issue.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
Yeah, very true.
But I just want to get it clear in my head, having had that information that Simon said about it. So I need to look at the actual wiring diagram now.
Yeah.
And work out what we've got. My tester with the most knackered leads in the world.
Is this the one that's all been patched up?
Oh yeah. It's had some abuse. So that's right. You've got a link wire from the top of your relay to the right hand side of the generator, yeah? So looking at your generator, you've got 2 poles. Right hand side goes to the single post on the relay, that's the top. The other side is a green wire that goes to position 2. The red wire, which is on your relay, you've got 2 wires on the bottom of the relay. It goes to position 1. The other side is black and goes to the bottom of your generator bowl. And that is basically your charging system. There's nothing else in there. If we now look up 48 WL loom, right hand side of the relay of the generator, single wire top of the relay. Red wire from the bottom goes to position 1, red position 1, black wire goes to the bulb. Black goes to the bulb. So that 1948 wiring is exactly the same as a 41 on the charging system.
So there is nothing different then?
No, there can be a difference on your switch positions, but that shouldn't make any difference at all. So now we've just got to check the wires on there, go to where they should go on the dashboard, and then as far as I'm concerned, I don't know what Simon's talking about with the, I mean, I'm not saying he's wrong, but it just doesn't ring true to me. Speedo bulb, generator bulb is your left hand side. So left hand side should go to position 2 on the ignition switch. Right, okay, so we're looking at this bunch of wires here. Green wire left hand side should go to position 2, tracing the loom back. It should be that position there. That one. Which it is. So that's wired correctly. The right hand side should just go to the top of the relay, which it is. Right. Bottom of the relay, right hand side should go to position 1, and that's a red wire. That's your main supply up to the switch. So I would imagine it should be that one then. No shorts anywhere in there. Okay, so then your other wire should be your black feed up to the bulb. Right, that wiring is exactly the same as a WLA. So it can only be brush position or battery.
Okay.
And I don't know about the light coming on. I've never ever heard of that.
What would trigger the light? Any idea?
Well, no, the light comes on if it isn't generating. That's the point. The way this system works, he's not getting the light coming on. Somebody's told Simon that the light should come on to tell him that it's charging.
Right.
Which I've never ever heard of. As far as I'm concerned, you turn your ignition on, the light comes on.
Yeah.
Kick it over, it starts, the light goes out, that means the system's charging.
And that's exactly what's happening now?
That's exactly what's happening now. But every time he rides it, after 50 miles, the battery's flat, which is reading on some of those things that we looked at. Yeah. It's not uncommon.
Yeah. But all I'm thinking of is the advice he's been given, I think we could just ignore.
I think we're going to... I've never, ever seen one that does that.
Yeah. And this is running in the way that it should be running as far as you're concerned.
It's exactly the same. She's wired up exactly the same as a WLA.
Cool.
So some of the other bits of the loom are different, but the charging systems is all different systems.
Yeah.
The charging system is exactly the same as a WLA. Green wire from junction terminal 17, cable B, green wire from generator, switch side, which we know is right. Green wire from the speedometer lamp. Right, so that green wire is your shunt coil wire. When you turn it on, that all fires up the other side, so that should be dead until you have ignition. That makes sense. So we've got green to the generator, and we've got one other wire there, which is a red, which goes up. So instead of going to the junction block, that is going straight up to your handlebar light switch feed. So exactly the same thing, that you got it there. That green wire comes down, goes across, comes across, goes to a junction block up to the headlamp switch. So that's all okay. The only other wire they've got on there is for the speedo lamp, which he's got wired in somewhere else. So let's see where he's wired that in. He's got that on that position there, which is irrelevant because that just feeds the tail lights, I think, that one. Okay, so then we've got two reds on position 1. One should be the live up. So we've got red on position 1, which I said is live up. You've got a second one coming out, which goes to your battery. Okay, and he's got a third one. Comes out. Switch terminal cable A, red wire from junction terminal 46. Yeah, okay. Cable B, red wire from relay. Yeah, we know that's good. Cable C, red wire from junction to terminal 30, which was a live pickup, we said, wasn't it? 30, junction terminal, front terminal C, right side in headlamp bracket. Cable C, red wire from switch terminal. This is a live terminal, can be used for an accessory lamp, so that's irrelevant. That's not on there, but it doesn't matter. So we should have from that position there. Oh, that's definitely going to the back of the bike, so turn it on. Kind of helps.
That makes the difference, doesn't it?
What a knobhead. Right, so that's correct. So we've got 3, 4 and 5, and our switch is different, but that's got a yellow wire that goes to the front marker lamp, so that's not used. 4 goes to number 6, which looks like a live junction block. Junction terminal, cable C, black wire from horn, black wire from oil signal lamp, black wire from generator, signal light, black wire from switch terminal 5, cable A, black wire from junction terminal 48. So they're just live feeds off of a main live. Okay, right, that's exactly as it should be. You haven't got the terminal block there. It hasn't got the terminal blocks there, so they've just run it all as separate wires, which is fine. Yeah, that just feeds everything else, so that's all right, it's all good.
So the next thing to check is the durability of the battery, or the capacity of the battery.
You can test the voltage on it and see if it drops, yeah, by all means, but check you out. He's gone big wordy on me. Durability?
I think I just made that one up, actually.
Right, that's maintaining 6.3 volts. Could possibly be a little bit higher. I think it's probably just brush setting on the generator. I'll have to read up on that, because all the ones I've sort of done, they've just been knackered, so you throw them away and buy a new one, you know?
Yeah.
Because they're so old. But for sitting here that long, that battery's maintaining 6.3. Normally if you hold this tester on there for a while, you'll see it drop. If the battery's knackered, it'll just go down in voltage. That's good, at least we've got to the bottom of that. In my mind. In my strange mind, man.
Next week on the workshop. So what did this bike come in originally for?
Clutch not working, problems with second gear, which I don't think there's anything wrong with the gearbox at all. That's just a bolt rubbing in there. But that's second gear. There's nothing wrong with that. So I think the clutch just wasn't releasing properly.
Okay.
And then obviously I noticed the frame, and I would deem it as dangerous, so I'd rather get it done, you know.
Definitely.